No, what does that say?
You're holding up a bottle of cold brew coffee. Do you know what it looks like?
Yeah.
It looks like one of those, what they call in America, a fifth.
Smells like coffee.
A fifth of scotch,
Yeah, it does,
which the old dipsos would keep in their pocket.
The hobo bums.
Pocket-sized dipso a scotch bottle.
I've got a plastic cup for you.
Well, we're going to talk to David Law as well, who is, of course, the co-founder of Brew Lab Coffee. This is a new
but I want us to make sure we've got a drop in the glass.
What I'm going to suggest that we do is you're going to pour out what you would call out a finger, a finger, right?
I'm going to give
as
it
if
two
it was
fingers.
whiskey.
I'm going to give it two.
I'm going to give you 2 fingers. Put it in there, and we'll knock it back.
The crudity of your behaviour sometimes.
I'm not the one that came back from the news saying, "Ooh, it was pulled," you know. I mean, it's shocking.
That was an expression
for family show.
It's not now.
Give me 2 fingers then of that.
Well, hang on.
And I'll
Can
knock
we
it
get
back.
the guest on first, please?
Well, the guest is already waiting
David,
to talk to us.
let's say hello.
Before we do that,
Introduce.
this from Dave, who says maybe the banner at Liverpool Airport was written in Latin, which is from your previous made-up story about the Pope. When you said that you'd given his speech in Latin.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And here's one from Gav. He says, "I'm loving you two back on every day. It's been like rationing. Hooray to the 2 mics. Can't wait for the 17th of December. Any chance of a cheeky shout out for my girlfriend Gemma and my daughters Naomi and Miley, all big 2 mics fans." Well, there you go, Gav.
There's a shout out for
That's
all of them.
for all of them. So there you go.
Well done.
Let's say hello to David Law from Brew Lab Coffee. David, a very good evening to you.
Good evening, guys.
Hi, David. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for hanging on through the madness. My colleague, Mr. Parry, is about to pour out
listen to this.
some of the nectar or the liquid. Your hands are shaking a bit there, Paul.
Just shut up so we can hear the pouring.
What?
I'm sorry, David. I'm just asking MG just to be quiet. Just listen to this, please. See? Hear it? Yeah.
Well, that's now more than 2 fingers.
Give me your cup and I'll drop something here.
You have to do it properly.
Yeah. There you go.
See?
Yeah.
You need a professional to do that.
Excellent.
Right?
There we go. Right, now we have it in our glass.
This is from Brazil, by the way.
Yeah.
Which, by coincidence, is where our producer is also from, Rita.
That's right, yeah.
So cheers to Rita from Brazil.
Yeah.
Here it goes. Oh, God, that tastes like dishwater.
Well, I have to say, it doesn't taste like a coffee cream. You know when you get a chocolate in a milk tray box?
Yeah.
The coffee cream is rich and sweet and pure. This tastes like water.
Like cold coffee.
Tastes like water out of a radiator.
Yeah. Now, David, this is. I should argue as well that this is actually not David's particular make of cold coffee. Yours is Brew Lab coffee. But the idea of this, right, is that it's now the trendy thing to drink. And tell us why that is, David. Why have people started attaching themselves to this drink?
So I think you've probably got a cold brew that is kind of been produced with specialty coffee. So specialty coffee has become a really popular thing in the last few years because it's all about paying a lot of attention to where the coffee's come from and how it's been produced and how it's been processed. And so the coffees are very lightly roasted. You get a lot of interesting flavors from them. So cold brew is a fantastic way of having that specialty coffee, but at a convenience, so you can drink it wherever you like. So you don't have to be going into a cafe to drink it. You can kind of get that cold brew and take it with you on the go and have a brilliant coffee wherever you want.
Except that to me, I'm not against having an iced coffee, but because of the way that it's made, it's not like that, is it? Because iced coffee, or say, for example, if you were to buy a Frappuccino or something like that, I don't mind that because it's got milk in it, you can pour it over ice, and it's like quite a pleasant drink in the summer. This seems to me to be like coffee without, the reason for drinking it, if you know what I mean.
It's a bit more akin to kind of drinking kind of like a wine or something. It's like, or a tea. Like they're very lightly roasted coffees, so you're not going to get the kind of the coffee flavor that you would expect from Frappuccino or a hot coffee. Cold brewing extracts a lot more natural sweetness from the coffee, but it's more delicate. It's a lot more kind of refined. So it's a bit more like drinking, something like a tea or a wine. And so I think people kind of have to kind of pull themselves away from what they typically think coffee is when they're drinking specialty coffee and cold brew.
Well, a lot of people drink coffee, of course, for the caffeine hit, don't they? I mean, I presume there's plenty of caffeine in this, is there?
There is, you extract more caffeine from the coffee when you cold brew.
Oh, great. So I'm going to be up all night now as well, then.
But isn't this...
I wouldn't normally drink coffee in the evening, particularly.
Yeah, I mean, David, isn't this another sort of anti-alcohol drive? You know, aren't the do-gooders now saying to us, you're a bad person if you drink alcohol, so drink our cold coffee, because it's never been warm coffee, and you'll be a good person?
I don't think it's an anti-alcohol drive at all. It's always good to have other alternatives to alcohol. I don't think that's a bad thing. But I think the people that are it's cold brew are very much into their craft beers and things like that as well.
Yeah, well, you say craft beers and all that kind of stuff, but even those are sort of specialists now. Seems to me that the days of walking into your local pub and ordering the same pint of beer every night has gone. Now you've got craft beers, but not only craft beers, you've got all these alternatives. And coffee is the latest one, but it doesn't even taste good. And do you know what? Mike Graham and I...
You don't really drink coffee, do you?
Mike Graham and I have said it doesn't taste good, but most people, do you know, are so brainwashed into thinking I'm a good person,
Hang on.
they'll say it does taste good.
I've got an idea, right? And I'm going
Right.
to put this to you, David. I don't know whether anybody's thought of this, but this would go really well, I would have thought, with some Tia Maria.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great cocktail mixing ingredient.
Is
and
it?
It's a great coffee martini as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, right.
There's a lovely, I've got some, I'll tell you what I've got at home. I've got a lovely Patron tequila coffee liqueur, right? And what I do is I mix that up with a little bit of milk and make it into a sort of martini glass cocktail, which is really nice, very coffee flavoured.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I could make with a little bit of milk and this mixed together, it might be even better.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good plan to me.
Well, how much of it is going to be imported from Brazil? Is this just a trial run, or...?
Can I have a look at the bottle, by the way?
Yeah, of course you can, yeah.
Have you taken a picture
Well, I
of
mean,
it?
all,
Yes, I
all
have.
coffee comes from South America or Africa, I mean, there's only certain places in the world that coffee will grow.
Yeah.
So it still needs to be imported anyway, but
Yeah.
a lot of it is processed and brewed obviously in the UK.
Yeah, really?
Now it says on the back, great over ice or straight from the flask for a pick me up at on your travels. So it's kind of being marketed, I suppose, as a bit of a caffeine hit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been marketed as kind of a convenient way to have that caffeine hit or that specialty coffee thing that you want to drink, but while you're on the go, rather than having to go to a cafe to get it.
And as far as your company is concerned, I mean, how big of a business is this at the moment, and what's the projected business as far as who's going to be selling it and how many, I don't know, how many sort of litres of it are you going to sell?
It's growing. Cold brew is still a small part of the ready-to-drink coffee market, but Starbucks are rolling out cold brew throughout all their stores in the UK, and it's already in all their stores in the US. So we're pretty confident that it's going to become a pretty big thing over the next few years.
And I mean, if you were to say to somebody, I suppose, 10 or 15 years ago, you know, every single high street in the UK is going to have about 4 or 5 different coffee shops, people would have said, you've gone mad, you know, why would they do that? But there doesn't seem to be any halting the growth of people who want to drink coffee.
No, coffee is kind of becoming more and more popular. I mean, it's kind of just been an upward trend ever since Starbucks and Costa and all that kind of came into the market. So yeah, it's definitely showing no signs of halting.
Well, I have to say, David, that, you know, once again, I feel you're threatening the traditional, you know, pint of beer or glass of Pinot Grigio
No, I think the more
culture
choice,
again.
the more choice,
Yeah,
the better.
well-
The more I'm drinking this, the more I'm liking it. To be
Really?
honest.
Yeah, I
I
can't
didn't
get
like the
into it.
first taste of it because I don't know what I was expecting. I'm not sure.
The coffee cream was always the chocolate I didn't like in the milk tray anyway, so I'm not...
Well, there's lots of different brands and lots of different flavors out there. So maybe you'll need to try our cold brew and
But
I think we need to add it to something like Tia Maria. I
yeah,
think
but
that
this
would be
is
good.
really for the
Or
beautiful
Baileys.
people.
Put it in Baileys.
It's really for the beautiful... Well, why would you water down a Baileys with watery...
Because
sort of
you can make
coffee?
it a longer drink. You put it on ice,
No.
put it over ice, put a bit of
No.
Baileys on the top, and
No.
it becomes a long drink
I
as
love
opposed to a short drink.
Once again, it's the search for the trendy, isn't it, David? You know, search for the trendy market.
Well, nobody can ever accuse you of being trendy.
Well, I think a lot of the people that tarnish with the trendy brush, a lot of the things that people tarnish with the trendy brush actually turn out to have something behind them, and I think a lot of things like that, people are scared of change. I think maybe,
Yeah.
and it turns out that these things do sometimes have something behind them.
Okay, well, I'll
right.
take your word for it, Dave, but I'm sorry I have to say it's failed my taste buds test.
Has it indeed?
Yes,
Okay, well, listen,
yes.
David, good luck
You
with
should have
it.
tried our cold brew.
Sorry?
You should have tried our cold brew.
Oh, well, I will, don't worry. One of these days. No problem at all. David, thank you very much indeed for joining us.